At 10,000 meters above the ground, the plane's windshield suddenly cracked. I immediately realized something was wrong. I reported it to the ground and requested to return, but before I could finish, the windshield shattered completely. The next second, strong airflow sucked the co-pilot out of the window. At the same time, glass shards got pulled into the engines. The plane suffered severe damage. Even worse, the powerful airflow ripped open the cockpit door. The flight attendant was thrown to the floor. The entire cabin plunged into chaos, but the crew did not back down. They risked their lives to calm the passengers and helped everyone put on oxygen masks. At that moment, the co-pilot's body was still hanging outside the window. He was in constant danger. I tried to pull him back into the cockpit, but I could not. I had to stabilize the plane first and descend quickly. Then the plane went into a high-speed dive. If it continued, we would likely crash into a snow-covered mountain. At the most dangerous moment, I held my breath and focused entirely on flying. Finally, I pulled the plane back under control. Under the massive inertia, the co-pilot was dragged back into his seat. He was badly injured, but he still struggled into the cockpit. With everyone's coordination, he managed to close the cockpit door. The cabin finally stabilized. He quickly put on our oxygen masks and pressed the emergency code. Ground control immediately activated emergency protocols. All flights were grounded. Runways were cleared. Police, medical teams, and firefighters were all in position. Then a massive storm cloud appeared ahead, filled with lightning and turbulence. I could not risk flying through it. I had to turn and look for a way through. Passengers began to panic. After circling for a while, I finally found a gap in the clouds. I steered the plane into it. Dark clouds and lightning surrounded the fuselage. Severe turbulence battered the plane. It could have lost control at any moment. I gripped the yoke tightly and kept my eyes forward. Suddenly, hail began to fall, pounding on the plane. As we pierced through the clouds, the split clouds suddenly closed again. The plane disappeared from radar. At that moment, everyone on the ground lowered their heads. Just when it seemed the plane would never return, it emerged from the clouds. Everyone finally exhaled in relief, but the danger was not over. A snow-covered mountain suddenly loomed ahead. I made an emergency adjustment and pulled the plane up with all my strength. Finally, we cleared the peak. With the coordination of all three pilots, the plane gradually descended and prepared to land. In the end, the plane came to a safe stop at the end of the runway. The passengers' fear turned into overwhelming joy at surviving.